the courage of the mothers, the sisters, the brothers, the uncles, the fathers. You hear this pouring out of people, and sometimes I think it's necessary. We have to remind ourselves, because you're so up close to this. You're so up close to this and dealing with it on such a personal level that we've got to pull the lens back. We've got to pull the lens back and actually look at what we've accomplished, especially in the last year, because things have changed in a very positive way. Not because some people in high places, in government offices or in the police departments around the country have put forward a positive face of change. That's not happening, and we shouldn't hold our breath for that. But what has happened, think about this, is that there's been the most powerful outpouring of protest and resistance and uprising by people in cities all over the U.S., especially beginning last year, August the 9th, when Michael Brown was murdered in Ferguson, Missouri, and we're about to come up on the anniversary of that, right? Especially after the murder of Michael Brown in Ferguson, Missouri, the people rose up there and said, we are not taking this. And then going into the fall, after the grand juries in Ferguson and New York did not come back with an indictment for the killers of Michael Brown and of Eric Garner, whose anniversary was just yesterday. The anniversary of his death, July 17th, was just yesterday. 1 year ago yesterday, when a gang of cops climbed on his back and put him in a chokehold and choked the life out of him while he said 11 times, what did he say? I can't breathe. He said that 11 times to those pigs. They took the life of that man. And his family took a settlement the other day, but they were very vocal about saying, this settlement is not justice. It's not over until what? What did we say all last summer and into the fall? Indict, convict, send these killer cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell, right? Isn't that right? So we should see, we're in a new situation. People have stepped out in their thousands, in their tens of thousands, in their hundreds of thousands all over the country, blocking bridges, blocking tunnels, doing die-ins in the middle of the street to symbolize the people being murdered by the police, students pouring out of their schools and out of their colleges. We got to appreciate this. We haven't seen anything like this since back in the 1960s. It's a powerful thing. It's an important thing. It's something everybody here today fought for, and we should be proud of it. We've put this problem of police murder in front of the eyes of people all over the world that didn't know this existed. They didn't know that this went on in the United States because of the way the U.S. tries to brag to people all over the world that they are the model of democracy, the model of the kind of society that people should strive for around the world. Really? Really? When they practice this vicious apartheid, this vicious police brutality and murder, this is what people are supposed to be striving for? I don't think so. I don't think so. But listen, understand this. Understand what we've accomplished. A few days ago, Obama went into a federal penitentiary. Said we got to do something about mass incarceration. It's a big problem. I got news for you. Obama knew that 6.5 years ago when he began his first term as president. He knew that then. He knew that then. What they're trying to do is, if you look beneath the surface, you know this is very sinister and very cynical. He's doing that because he has to. He's doing that because a movement of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people have been out in the street exposing police brutality and murder and mass incarceration in this country, and they feel like if they don't get out in front of it and try to divert it, then it could get out of control. That's what they're worried about. They're worried about how people see them all over the world, see this country and see this system for being so racist, so white supremacist. They're worried about that, and they're trying to figure out how to get on top of the situation. They're not talking about really getting to the root of it. So give a sense of appreciation for what we have all accomplished together. And yes, we need to take it higher, and we need to take it further, because there's a lot more injustice that's going on. This whole system, look, I want to say this. Kadeem spoke earlier, said some powerful words about how we need unity. We need unity. We need to come together from a whole lot of different perspectives. I don't care if you're a liberal, a reformist, a nationalist, an anarchist, a communist, wherever you're coming from. I don't care. If you think that this is an intolerable situation of police brutality and murder going on in this country, then let's come together and fight it. If you think mass incarceration, all the lives, all the people in those prisons have got loved ones at home too, you know? If you think that's intolerable, then let's come together and do something to stop it, right? Now I'm going to tell you, having said that, my own views and my own understanding is that we need revolution to uproot this whole system that's founded on white supremacy, on 250 years of slavery, 100 years of segregation, and now another generation of what? New Jim Crow? We need a revolution. That's what everything I'm doing is about. How are we going to get to the day when we can uproot this so in a future society people will never, ever, ever have to come together in a bittersweet gathering like this. Never, ever have to come together with all this anguish and tears and all this pain from having lost their loved ones to a thug with a badge and a gun. Never again. And I think we can get to that future society. But I think people don't limit your thinking to what the system tells you revolution is about or what communism is about. You want to find out what it's about? Go ask a genuine revolutionary, a genuine communist, Baba Bacon. Check out that film, that dialogue between Cornel West and Baba Bacon, where they talk about revolution and a religion, the fight for emancipation and the role of religion. There's a sweeping view of human society and how can we get to a whole radically different place. And there's a screening of the film, Revolution and Religion, the dialogue between Cornel and Baba Bacon over at the East Oakland Public Library on August the 2nd. So let's come together around that and have real dialogue, real meaningful exchange between each other. Whether we are revolutionary nationalists or liberals or, like I say, whatever your viewpoint, let's come together and let's grapple with these things. There's too much at stake. At the same time, regardless of how you feel about that, let's fight the power together to put a stop to this. And on October 22nd is what? It's the National Day of Protest to stop police brutality, repression, and the criminalization of a generation. And just like every year since 1996, people are going to be coming together in cities around the country to step out into the streets because we have to stop this. But also, on October 24th, there's a call from Cornel West and Carl Dix for people to come together in New York City for a national protest in New York City to stop police terror. A national protest. Look, New York City is one of the epicenters of police murder and terror in this country. It's one of the epicenters of this suffering that people have been speaking about up here today. But it's the Rome of this American empire. And what happens in New York City could be a part of conveying it, communicating to people all over the world. So we are calling on people to be there, to stop mass incarceration networks, calling on people to go to New York, October 24th. Now for some people, if you're in the Midwest, you can protest in Cleveland on October 22nd, and on October 23rd, you can get in a bus or get on a car and go to New York. Here it's more difficult. We're on the West Coast. So that means some of us are going to have to miss October 22nd here so we can be in New York for October 24th. And I want to put out the call, again, in the spirit of unity. Let's come together around this. If you believe it's an intolerable situation, you want it to stop, let's come together in New York on October 24th. A whole bunch of the family members here, the mothers, they should be there. The fathers, they should be there. Let's raise the funds to get them there. Let's do that. Let's do projects together. We can do something about all this. We don't have to live this way. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Then let's work together to put an end to it. Thank you.